So, briefing my takeoff runway 20 if we can, and we accept with packs off, anti-eyes on, config 2, full thrust takeoff, radar on, up 5. Before V1, you can call out any malfunction, I'll make the decision, stop or go. If we stop, we'll stay on the runway. If we continue, no actions below 400 feet except silence the gun, retract the gear, and then we proceed straight ahead to FH 1700 feet. Accelerate, retract the flaps, and then climb minimum safe. We'll make it 3000 or above the clouds. If ever we can see that, we're going to go above the clouds. Okay. And then for a possible return to Brussels, overweight, and we'll have to request runway 20 as well. Okay. If everything is normal, it's the Chèvre for Lima departure. Chart 10-3 Alpha, 21st of November 2003. The frequencies are well known, the MSA 1700, 2200, and then it reads Chèvre for Lima, runway 20 as soon as practicable after leaving 700 feet, turn left, 131 heading, intercept, book, radial 177. So that's in the flight plan, 700, intercept, X067, and then going to Chèvre, following radial 247. Turn right intercept Chèvre 067, that is correct. Inbound to Chèvre. 60 in the 100 miles is fine, and we are over it. Okay? So we can do the before start checklist.
Before start checklist, cockpit preparation
Is completed.
completed. Gear fins and feathers.
Removed. Signs. On auto.
ADS.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
49.3 and balanced.
Takeoff data. V-birds.
Set.
Barrel rate.
1000 blue.
1000 set. Before start checklist to the range complete.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome aboard. My name is Peter Vermeer and I have the pleasure to be the captain today. And my colleague on the flight deck is Mr. Benoit Rijkmans. All the passengers except one are now on board. In just a few minutes we'll be closing our doors and start our engines for the flight to Abidjan with a stop in Freetown, Sierra Leone. As you can see, the weather is pretty bad in Brussels, but in about 15 or 20 minutes from now we should be above the clouds and into the sun. I wish you already a very pleasant flight, and I leave you now in the good care of our cabin crew, whom I know will, as always, do their utmost best to make this flight today with SN Brussels Airlines a pleasant experience. Thank you for your kind attention.
Take 207, status is approved. Clear destination via Chèvre for Lima departure, runway 20, squawk 7137.
Still 207 is clear to destination. Chèvre for Lima departure, squawk 7137.
Still 207, correct, news UNH minor 7 for the push ground and 121.87 au revoir, monsieur, bon vol et bonne journée.
New UNH 997, the ground 121.87 is still 207. Johnny Abdul.
Delivery, een hele goede morgen nog, Kilo 726, information.
Vas-y, le punk est toujours stand by 1. Voilà, punk est fermé.
Ground, good morning, ST 207 position 205 left, ready for pushback.
Still 207, Brussels ground, good morning, pushback 205 left approved.
Pushback 205 left is approved, ST 207.
parking brake is now released. You can push at your discretion.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Starting engine number 1.
Toren van landmeter op Echo 4.
Landmeter.
Ja, ik vraag toelating om 022 kruis Echo 4 naar Foxtrot 3.
Landmeter, u mag nu 0220 kruis Echo 4 Fox 4.
Dank u. van landmeter bedankt, dit horen.
Landmeter bedankt.
Starting engine number 2.
Okay, sir, the push is finished. Brake set, please.
176, pressing out today.
Parking brakes are set.
Ground, Kilo 176, pressing out today.
Kilo 176, ground 1805.
121, 1805, confirm.
1805.
1805, dankjewel.
Steering finish removed.
Okay, standby 1. Okay, sir, we have 2 normal starts. You may disconnect. I'll see you on the left-hand side. Have a nice day and thanks for the good service. Bye-bye.
Okay, no problem, sir. Simple life. Enjoy. Flight to Gdańsk.
The after start checklist, please.
After start checklist, anti-ace. Hebben we déjà?
On. Ja.
Ik heb status.
Is checked.
Pitch trim.
7 up.
Rudder trim.
0.
Ground equipment.
Removed.
Nose wheel steering.
Is on.
After start checklist disconnected.
Very good.
Right is clean.
STL 207 is ready to taxi.
This is 207. Can you accept Bravo 1 for departure?
Info.
This is 207, Outer Bravo 1, holding position 25. Correction, holding position runway 20. QNH 997, hold on Outer 8.
Right is clear.
So, taxi north Bravo 1, north point 20, QNH 997 to hold on outer 8, still 207.
The outer 8 c'est le premier. Ouais. Checklist. Left clear.
Right clear.
Check.
Full down. Nurture. Full left. Full right. Nurture.
Feet on pedals.
Full left. Full right. Nurture.
Your
Zero.
forward.
Declaring Buffalo Foxtrot for Whiskey for turning point 20 is still 207.
Check.
This is 207, cross runway 20.
Crossing runway 20 is approved, is still 207.
Crossing yes. Yeah. And the before takeoff checklist. Clear.
02 is clear.
Thank you.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked briefing.
Is confirmed for 20.
Flap setting.
Config 2.
Config 2. V1. VR. V2 flex temp.
So 146, 147, 151, flex toga.
146, 147, 151 Togger. ATC.
Is set.
ACAM memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Before takeoff checklist is completed to the line.
Okay.
Right is clear.
Thank you. You have ATC?
I have the ATC.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. We are now taxiing to the active runway. We'll be taking off in just a few minutes towards the southwest with the left turnout, and then of course to France and our destination, Freetown. During the flight, you'll be able to follow the progress of the flight on the screens in front. In the meantime, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Thank you.
207 ready, tower 120 to station 118.6, right?
When ready, 186 is the 207 blue.
Ground hello, this is Turkish 137 runway is okay.
Receptor, good morning, is the 207 holding short runway 20 is ready for departure.
On qui est en approche courte finale.
Station calling tower.
Is the 207 holding short runway 20 ready for departure.
Still 207, line up and wait runway 20.
Lining up and waiting runway 20 is the 207.
Approach on a 25 right is clear. TKS.
Yeah, that's a, yeah.
Get a crew, please be seated. Take off 1 minute. Enjoy the flight.
Checked. And the checklist. Takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. Cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine start selector.
Normal.
Packs.
Off.
Before takeoff checklist complete. Clearance to go. Elevator checked.
And still 207 ready for immediate.
Confirm.
A-firm is still 207.
Still 207, roger, initially hold position on the runway. Expect release after the first landing, now short final runway 25 left.
Is the 207 comply.
Italia 156, ground 12187. Lufthansa 75 X-ray clear to land runway 25 left. Wind 180 degrees, 17 knots.
Elevator
75 X-ray clear to land 25 left.
and neutral.
Thank you.
Still 207, after departure initially climb to 3000 feet.
After departure feet and 3000 feet is the 207.
Good afternoon,
Still 19 Whiskey, we establish on the Calais 25 left, speed 170. ST19 Whiskey, Brussels Tower, good morning. Continue approach runway 25 left, expect departing traffic runway 20, right to left. We have been advised for that, then we continue. Lufthansa 75 X-ray, vacate via Charlie 2 and hold short runway 20.
Charlie 2 holding short 20, Lufthansa 75 X-ray.
Still 207, wind 180 degrees, 14 knots, runway 20, cleared for takeoff, bye-bye.
Clear takeoff runway 20 is still 207. Bye-bye.
Chrono QFU elevation is checked. I have controls.
You have controls.
Mantoga, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue.
Checked.
Lufthansa 75 X-ray to the right, Whiskey 1 Foxtrot 3, hold short runway 20.
Whiskey 1 Foxtrot 3 holding short 20, Lufthansa 75 X-ray.
100 knots. Checked.
positive climb. Gear up.
Still 19 Whiskey, wind
Left
0 degrees, 13 knots,
Check.
runway 25 left, way 25 left. Number 2, number 1, 2 miles final.
Continue.
Still 207, climb to 4,000 feet.
Climbing to 4,000 feet, still 207.
Still 207, contact
Just climb.
departure, 126.62, bye-bye.
12662, still 207, bye-bye.
Hello.
Yeah.
Departure, good morning, still 207, Sierra 4 Lima departure, climbing 4,000 feet.
Still 207, goedemiddag, climb flight level 70.
Climbing flight level 70, still 207.
Check 70 blue. Check this. Flaps.
Departure, good afternoon, Olympic 146, passing 1,000.
Olympic 146, good afternoon, sir, radar contact.
Flaps 0. Speed checks. Flaps 0.
Olympic 146, what is your car?
Transition. Passing flight level 5 for now. Check. After takeoff climb checklist. After takeoff climb checklist. Landing gear. Up. Flaps retracted. Packs on. Barrow ref. Standards 1013. Status go speed on start. Checks. After takeoff checklist complete. 250.
Olympic 146, climb flight level 70.
Climb 70, Olympic 146.
Still 207, 131.1.
1311, still 207, bye-bye.
Olympic 146, 12.
Russell, good morning, still 207, flight level 70, close to Sierra.
Still 207, goedemiddag, radar contact. Climb to flight level 240.
Landing flight level 240 is still 207.
240 blue and open climb. I prefer managed climb. Plus climb. Checks.
Iberia 3206, contact arrival 118.25.
118.25, Iberia 3206. Good day.
Yes. 260 blue. Checks.
Juliet, request heading 330 for weather.
This is 4 Echo Juliet, turn right heading 330.
3330. Via 88 level 310 cruising level for the whale. Roger, Endeavour level 310, divided.
Radar off. Oui, checked.
We're now flying at an altitude of 37,000 feet, which is 11,300 meters high. The outside air temperature is minus 64 degrees centigrade. And our speed is currently Mach 0.81. We're now south of Paris, closing in on Limoges on our right hand side and flying towards Agen, just northwest of Toulouse. After that, we'll be going over the Pyrenees and we'll reach Spain, flying towards Valencia to follow the coast of Spain towards Malaga in the south before reaching the area of Gibraltar. We'll leave Gibraltar on the right hand side, pass the Strait of Gibraltar, and then of course leave Europe to start flying over Africa. First of all, we'll fly over Morocco with Tangiers on our right hand side, then Rabat, Casablanca, more to the south, just east of Agadir, and then it is the area of the Sahara, the Moroccan Sahara, before reaching Mauritania. That will be crossing from the north to the south, and then it will be Senegal. We'll leave Dakar on our right hand side, approximately 250 nautical miles, flying towards Guinea and the capital, Conakry, before turning a little bit to the left alongside the coast of Africa to our first destination today, Freetown in Sierra Leone. Landing in Freetown will be after 6 hours and approximately 25 minutes. And of course, the weather in Freetown will be a lot better than earlier today in Brussels. Although, according to the forecast, it could be a little hazy. Temperatures should be around 24 degrees centigrade. And by the time we get to Freetown, it will be almost the end of the day, and hopefully we'll still have a little bit of daylight at the time of landing. So that should be a very nice trip. Down here it's Malaga with the runway over there.
stations traffic information, STL 207, flight level 390, southbound from Brussels to Freetown via the Upper Mike 372. We check Tamul at time 1549er, Anoma at 1606, Nanus will be next, STL 207, flight level 390, southbound.
I'll give you a little bit of a presentation and a tour of the cockpit of an A330. There are three big areas of interest. The front here is this what we call the EIS, or Electronic Instrument System. It's basically that part that the pilot always sees and uses for flying and navigating. The overhead panel is used for aircraft systems, and I'll come back to that part a little bit later. And then here in the middle we have what we call the center pedestal, and it has a number of instruments essentially used for navigation and for communication. So coming back to the EIS, there is a panel up here that contains the EFIS panel, or Electronic Flight Instrument Panel, which allows us to control information appearing on the screens in front of us. The auto flight system controls the autopilot, and then we have 6 identical screens used for the pilot. These 2 are identical to the other 2 presented in front of the first officer. In front of me is the PFD, or primary flight display, containing the speed tape, the altimeter, and the artificial horizon. The right screen is called the ND, or navigation display, and it basically contains a map of where we are and where we're going, and you can see the route that we are following, the aircraft being represented by a little symbol here looking like an aircraft, and the map is moving under the aircraft. In the center we have the engine and system display. This screen is used primarily for engine parameters and also a number of indications and warnings that are part of what we call the ECAM, ECAM, or Electronic Centralized Aircraft Monitor. And it will tell us a lot of things about the aircraft, and if anything goes wrong, the checklist of what has to be done to solve the problem will appear in this part. The lower screen is the system display, and it allows us to display all parts of the aircraft, like details of the engines, details of the hydraulic systems, details also of the air conditioning system, for instance. So there are in total about 10 different screens that will give us a very precise view of what the systems are doing, what their condition is. Now, looking up here, you have what we call the overhead panel, and the essential part is in the middle. The first part here controls the air system. That means everything that we need to do to pressurize the aircraft and to keep the temperature comfortable for the passengers, called the conditioning system. On top of it is the electrical panel. It controls the electrical generation and usage of electricity in the aircraft. A little higher then we have the fuel system, primarily the pumps that control the transfer of fuel from the tanks to the engines. and on top of it is the hydraulic system, basically controlling hydraulic pumps and valves. Around it are secondary systems that are most of the time used in abnormal conditions, such as for the engines, for instance, the fire push buttons that will allow us, in case of a fire, to stop the engine and shut it off from the rest of the aircraft, and also do some fire fighting. Okay, the pilot doesn't have to look at the overhead panel. If anything is wrong here, it will appear on the ECAM. In the middle is the center pedestal. It contains the throttles, which are used to add or remove power from the engines. The other parts are for navigation and communication. This is what is called the CDU. Sometimes we call it the crew distraction unit, but in fact it is the computer display unit, and it allows us to enter the route, to change the route, to modify the flight plan for the aircraft. It also gives us information about the aircraft in terms of time and fuel. Here are the radio panels controlling communication radios and navigation radios. The two sides are identical, and each pilot has access to his side. In the middle is a third one, a spare one, but it's also used for data communication with the ground. There are two other important levers here. One is for the speed brakes or ground spoilers. Speed brakes in the air, ground spoilers once the aircraft is on the ground, and it goes with a number of panels on top of the wings that will slow down the aircraft. On the right here is the flap lever, allowing to modify the shape and the size of the wings, and that means that we have an aircraft that can be flown at various speeds and has a larger range of speeds in which it can be flown. So we're going to Freetown coming from Bombay in about 5 or 6 minutes, and then it will be Naslo, Pimso to Conakry and Freetown, with a possible direct from Naslo to Freetown Lungi. Minimum safe altitudes and routes are all below flight level 60 basically. Until we arrive at Lungi, we have runway 1230, and normally we can expect an approach for runway 30. The particulars of this airport is that we don't want to go south of the airport because of helicopter traffic coming from the city of Freetown to the airport. Minimum sector altitude to the north is 2,000 feet based on Lungi. And so basically we will be arriving over Lungi and then fly the procedure outbound, depending on the weather, to establish ourselves on the inbound radial 301, which is radial 121, descending from 5,000 feet over the VOR to 2,000 feet during the procedure turn, with minimums at 540 feet. And then if we have the runway in sight and everything is okay, we can land on runway 30, which is 10,500 feet long, has high intensity runway lights, high-intensity approach light system and a touchdown zone with a VASI. And it's a standard 45 or 46 meters wide runway. In case of a missed approach, we'll proceed straight ahead to 2,000 feet and then turn right back to the VOR for a direct entry into the 2-minute holding on radial 121. Now, depending on the weather, as I said, we may have to improvise a little bit because traffic control won't help us much. And as long as we can keep contact with the ground and break clouds using a procedure or being VMC, we can pretty much maneuver the way we want for either runway 30 or 12. Just to mention, the go around for runway 12 is also straight ahead to 2,000 feet. They say with a right turn, but we may consider using a left turn back to the VOR just to avoid the traffic. I've put VOR, or I will put the VOR later on into both VORs, and I have already put Sierra Lima, the locator, in the two receivers. Now, there is no circle to land procedure given, so we might as well consider that unless, of course, we are visual. If we are visual, we'll maintain normal traffic pattern, 1,500 feet for both runways, depending on the situation. Okay? I suggest to use auto brakes low, and if we land on runway 30, we can expect to leave the runway directly for the apron via taxiway Charlie. Otherwise, we'll have to go to the end and use the turning paths to come back. But in any case, we'll use auto brakes low for landing. Any question? No? Okay, well then let's do it.
Okay, you are clear to the Lima Golf India VOR. Flight level 260. Report leaving 390.
Leaving flight level 390 now, descending flight level 260 to the Lima Golf India VOR, STL 207.
Report a team Golf India Alpha.
Call you OD, Golf India Alpha, STL 207.
Voilà. J'essaie de faire le truc là, mais j'ai le pied. Ah, il me semble bien. C'est ça.
Passing now, flight level 320, descending flight level 260, inbound Lima Golf India, 108 miles to go. Estimating a beam Golf India Alpha at time 1720 and Lima Golf India 1731. Still 207 is southbound, passing flight level 300, descending.
Grand chose.
207. Still descend to flight level 220.
220.
Leading flight level 250, descending flight level 220, ST 207. The 106 area in Golf India Alpha, descending 279.
Roger, descend to 200. Stand by. Red 607. Report your DME.
607, we are 52 nautical miles, file 180. We have the traffic inside.
Yes, the 207 is passing flight level 170, descending flight level 100.
Okay, still 207 continues 100. Change with Freetown 119.7. See you.
119 decimal 7, descending flight level 100.
097, right? J'ai le trafic intéressant.
Correcting. Toulouse Conakry.
C'est bien, c'est comme ça, c'est clair.
Conakry approach, Conakry approach.
SL 207, Freetown, go ahead.
Inbound to Freetown, 30 nautical miles. Established on the 010 radial, flight approaching flight level 100.
SL 207, no delay for your approach and land in Freetown runway 30. Stop is wind 260 at 6 knots. Visibility 8 kilometers in haze. View clouds 1600 feet. Temperature is 29, viewpoint 22. QNH 1009. Report estimate to the field, total souls on board and remaining endurance.
So maintaining flight level 100 from runway 30, QNH 1009. Total on board 244, endurance is 3 hours. And estimating Lima Golf India VOR at 1730.
Delta Alpha Tango 207, continue your descent to 5,000 feet and report approaching 5,000.
So leaving flight level 100, descending 5,000 feet to the approach.
Okay.
Call again.
0909.
099, Freetown, go ahead.
Approach checklist.
From Manioka to 1000 feet, BOD 101, endurance 2 hours. Estimate Malungi 31.
3-1 à Longueuil, donc il est quasiment entendu. T'es dessus, l'hélicoptère? Ah oui. 3-1 à Longueuil. Approach checklist briefing is confirmed. Cam status check. V-bugs are set. Set. Seatbelts
Bravo Tango,
on.
taxi at takeoff 30
ROF.
direction and climb to
1009. 3 times.
099, confirm your altitude.
Passing 7,000 now.
500 feet confirm.
MDADH 540 feet. Check 540 set. Engine start selector. Normal. Approach checklist complete.
Climbing to 1,000 feet, estimating Mamioko at
Check.
you report right hand downwind for 30.
So joining the right end downwind for runway 30, STL 207.
And continue down to 2,000.
09 on ground, runway vacated.
Speed. Okay, gear down. Speed check. Je vais ouvrir un tout petit peu. Oui, bonne idée. Oui, low. Et on va commencer à tourner. Set track. 299. 299. Oui, 299, oui. Flaps. 2. Speed checks. Flaps 2. F speed. La piste. Continue à descendre. Oui, toujours en vue. Aïe. Oui. F flaps 3. Speed checks. Je te place en manage speed. Oui, je le vois. Je pense que je vois. Manage speed. Et cam landing memo. Flaps to go. Spoilers to be out.
STL 207 is on final pre-tour.
Continue approach SL 207. Break in 119 at Bucket
Flaps
runway.
full. Speed checks. Flaps full.
Runway vacated, 119.
SL 207 is clear to land runway 30.
Yes, to land runway 30, STL 207.
Oui, c'est juste.
Wind 260 at 6 knots.
100 above.
207.
Landing, cam landing memo. Set. Landing
Minimum.
All set, clear to land.
400.
Très late spool up. Roger.
300. 200.
Rate of descent 1000 feet a minute.
100.
800 feet a minute.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
spoilers out. Reverse 2, green. Diesel, green. Manuel braking.
On va les tourner, ça peut juste un
Oui. 71.
reverse 1 4. On va les tourner, comme ça j'aurais vu la piste.
Ça va.
Still 207 on ground, 33 into the loop and backtrack.
Proceeding for a backtrack is still 207. Confirm you are clear to backtrack on runway 12.
Affirm into the loop and backtrack runway 12.
Still 207.
Sorry. Oui, ben, en fait, je vois la prochaine fois, je viendrai flaps 2 avant d'arriver au-dessus du VOR pour avoir un meilleur contrôle sur le tête. Sinon, tu dois aller trop loin, alors tu ne vois plus ce que tu fais.
Ouais, ouais.
Ouais, comme il faisait beau, ça allait. C'était quasiment un idle landing. Ça, j'aime pas beaucoup. C'est bon pour toi?
C'est bon pour moi.
On va essayer de faire le reverse maintenant.
Oui, on va les essayer. Hein.
Still 207. Still 207 when you have the marshal in sight, continue with marshal.
Continuing with the marshal still 207.
Oui, je vois où Monsieur Claude
Oui.
est allé mettre ses pattes dans le sable. Et je vois ce que ça veut dire. Donc ici, on va devoir aller à gauche, c'est ça? Hein?
Oui, tu vas suivre la première
Ouais,
ligne
ouais,
ici,
d'accord.
évidemment en prenant large pour revenir.
Oui, j'ai bien compris. Oui, Coco. C'est ça. Et on va aller se repositionner à droite. Et à quel moment est-ce qu'on tourne?
Il va te faire signe. Voilà, maintenant tu peux tourner.
Je dois ouvrir? Un petit peu.
Légèrement, va vers les deux conteneurs.
Ouais.
On est clear de l'hélico.
Ouais.
Tu vois la ligne que tu dois reprendre.
Oui.
Ouvre un peu plus.
Oui. Ça, c'est la ligne que je dois reprendre, là.
Oui,
Oui.
pointillé là. Oh, j'ai oublié de démarrer les Clio avec tout ça.
Oui. Ben voilà, on y est.
Sit down, Bravo Tango from Yokota Lungi, 500 feet, you will be at 22 and units an hour.
Left bay 30, Kenneth 1009.
That's a good look, this is
On n'a pas des
your
millions.
Non, mais je vais attendre un instant. On va attendre que les BU soient là. On va faire la parking là, after landing.
Fine. So we're going to do a walk around, which is basically a way to walk around in a systematic way around the aircraft, and we'll check a few things. So if you follow me. Okay, we'll start here. These are the static ports for the altimeters and other flight instruments. They need to be cleaned. As you can see, there is no paint around the static port. It's just a matter of looking at it and making sure there's no dirt. coming here to the nose wheel. We check for tire wear and possible leaks. We continue and have a look at the nose of the aircraft, looking at the pitot tubes, and then the radome, where the radar antenna is located, and make sure there are no impacts from birds or other foreign objects, and that everything is tidy. While I walk, I look at the aircraft and make sure that there is nothing abnormal. This is based on experience, of course. Again, static ports. These are the secondary ports. The antennas below the aircraft. Make sure that there is nothing obstructing the input of the ram air. We look at the wing, the slats for no damage, no impact. And then into the engine. Again, we look for possible damage or bird remains and things of that sort. No leaks. The engine is clean. Below the wing, looking for possible hydraulic leaks or fuel leaks, and the position of the various controls, such as here the ailerons. That is the tank vent. As you can see, the aircraft is being fueled. The engine exhaust. And coming to the main gear, the right-hand main gear. The fan brakes are running, so it makes a lot of noise, and there is a lot of heat coming out of the brakes. But it cools the brakes much faster. Looking at the bogie and the brake assembly system for possible leaks. Tire wear, of course. And the position of the strut. We need to see the metal part here. If there was a leak, it would be completely compressed. And then we have a look at the gear itself, which, by the way, is a new one. It was replaced at the 10-year check of the aircraft about 2 months ago. Okay, under the belly of the aircraft, the antennas. And there's, of course, a little bit of water dripping. That's just condensation. And we move to the tail of the aircraft. With again a lot of noise due to the APU, the auxiliary power unit, that provides electricity and air to the aircraft while it is on the ground. Looking at the stabilizer and the elevators on both sides of the tail. Then I have a look at the rudder. Again, checking for damage and possible leaks, but everything is fine today. And of course, because an aircraft is symmetric, I'll do exactly the same thing on the left side of the aircraft. And I'll start with the outflow valve. The outflow valve serves to control the pressurization of the aircraft. And then the main gear on the left-hand side, again looking at the tires, the bogie, the brakes, the various hoses. Make sure there is no leak apart from the water dripping going around the engine towards the air intake looking at the fan, very nice, beautiful. Large, powerful General Electric engines. And that basically completes the walk around of the aircraft, and that's what we do at every stop during our missions.
Already, but I go for an A330.
Un passager qui était pilote d'hélico qui dit que son nom, tout à fait de mot.
Oui, ça décolle en Girona.
Après le gars qui les voyait décoller.
Une zone dans laquelle, en fait, si, voilà, ici décolle, mais ici c'est purement, si, je sais pas, il y a une double turbine, ça allait aller, mais...
3000, 725, yes, to line up.
Attention 098. Alright. 098 request at approach destination Mamioka, POB 15 endurance 01. Roger, the SL207 is called Freetown Nanan. Freetown Nanan to Abidjan to climb to maintain flight level 370. When you're on. To make a left turn out, right?
Okay, still 207 is cleared from Freetown to Abidjan via Nanan Abidjan to climb and maintain flight level 370 and after takeoff left turn on course.
Roger, declare entry back right, you clear to enter and backtrack runway 12.
Okay, we're clear to enter and backtrack runway 12, still 207, and I have a helicopter on the left-hand side, confirm.
The farmer is touching down on the apron, he's touching down on the apron. Continue taxi.
Okay, we continue taxi, backtrack runway 12, still 207.
On the EV725, continue approach, you land on the apron, stand number 1.
Roger, stand number 1, 75.
57, les vitesses sont mises, le routing, je vérifie. C'est un left turn out, ce qui correspond. Ça va.
Roger, continue approach, report 10 miles inbound.
Sierra Leone 757.
0151 Alpha.
Ok, alors, tout le reste c'est bon. 3707. C'est correct. Thank you.
Sierra Lima Alpha 054, can you backtrack 12?
Affirmative, expedite backtrack 12.
Expediting Sierra Lima Alpha 054.
So, flight confirmed.
Yes. Full up. Full down.
75 ground.
75 on the ground, Roger.
Full left.
Taxi,
Full right. Neutral.
Fleet on the banana.
Yes. Les lumières.
ESL 207 is clear to line up and take off runway 12. When you're on, you maintain runway heading, you set course after 2,000 feet.
Okay, runway heading until 2,000 feet, and we are cleared for takeoff on runway 12 at 2,000 feet, left turn on course.
Roger.
Bon, standby 1, je te mets 2000 pieds.
75 taxi to Oldham Point.
Manflex 57 SRS, autotrace bleu on.
Check. Power is set.
Roger.
Checked. V1, rotate.
Now 725,
Ready?
turn
Boom.
right, turn
Ready.
right and taxi and take off from the
Ready,
X1,
green.
1-2 direction.
Take off from Apron 1 to the Delta. 3051 Alpha, reach 2000, look back on the 12.
He said 2,000 feet on the UFC.
No,
051, report final.
2000 is
Report final,
good.
yes, sir.
Precies. Standard.
051 Alpha, come down.
051 on ground,
After takeoff,
08,
climb checklist.
turn right.
Landing gear.
Still 207 out of 5,000.
Excel 207, request registration.
Oscar Sierra Foxtrot November.
Copy it, contact robot 121. Have a nice flight.
121, goodbye.
Hello. Flaps. Retracted. Backs. Back one on, back two off. Yep. Barrel ref. Standard set.
8,300.
Now, checkers. After takeoff, climb checklist complete. Roger.
So, charts in place, landing data prepared and config full for ILS runway 21, 131 and 202. Status is checked anyway, we have one reverse in up.
Yep.
Weather not
Possibly.
possibly, yeah. Weather not and fuel weather is checked and good, no times there is nothing, fuel 2 tons extra with Accra, Lomé as diversion. Routing Poxo, then to join the Poxo 2 Alpha arrival to end up on the 11 DME arc to Depris. Anyway, I expect direct to Depris earlier in the approach. To join Depris around 2,700 feet, 2,200 feet to join the glides. Final approach course is 209, starting the descent at 6.9 Alpha November, down to the minimums 221 feet. In case of go around, the routing straight away 1700 feet, then turn left, climbing to 2200 feet to follow the 043 radial to Depris for a direct entry in left turn. It's on the box.
Yeah.
For the radio rates, I set in VOR2 Alpha Delta, initially with a 209 course. I let for the time VOR1 like that, so it's fine-tuned, and Alpha November 306.0 is the locator. The altitudes by now in the sector after Poxo 4000 flight level 40 is enough, then within the 25 miles of Alpha Delta 2,700 feet, within the 16 miles which is Depris, we can descend to 2,200 feet, go around final altitude 2,200 feet. So approach with standard blades, lights, auto brake low, and idle reverse. I plan to vacate on the end of the runway, then to do a small backtrack on the apron.
At the end or here?
Normally they ask us to go to the end. If there is no traffic, we can vacate, yes, at the first one. The lighting on the runway 21, all we need, high intensity runway lights, high intensity approach light system, second scene flashing light, and a PAPI to the left, 2.97 degrees. And a 3,000 meter runway length, more than enough with the weight we have. Any questions?
No.
And I will start with a standard flight director, auto thrust, autopilot, and depending on the weather, maybe ending on manual.
L207 Abidjan, descent at level 050, report passing level 100.
Okay, down flight level 050, calling you passing flight level 100, 100, still 207.
07 is estimate debris.
Oh, estimating debris at 2030.
2030, copied.
Yeah. Il est là. J'ai tout mis là parce que. Et là, me voilà ramasser.
Cell 207, copied, clear for report. 3 ILS 2.25 miles, descent 2,700 feet, QNH 1013. Report passing at level 050.
Okay, still 207 is now cleared for the ILS approach runway 21 to descend 2,700 feet on 1013, call you out of flight level 50, still 207.
Engine starts electric. Normal.
And the still 207 now out of flight level 50, 22 nautical miles from Alpha Delta.
5022 nautical miles, contact tower 1181, good day.
1181, good day. Abidjan Tower, good evening, bonsoir, is still 207.
207, bonsoir, go ahead.
Okay, passing 4,700 feet on QNH 1013, descending 2,700, inbound debris estimate at 2030. And we are 19 nautical miles from Alpha Delta.
SL 207, clear for the approach, continuous and 2,200, the QNH 1013 about debris.
Okay, down 2,200 feet now, 1013, call you debris, is still 207.
Start the shallow turn. Yep. Heading green. Check. Approach on glace level blue. Check.
Still 207, passing debris.
207, report 5 mile final.
Call you 5 miles final, still 207.
Lock style. Checked. Flaps 1. Spin.
Josh 103, good evening, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Zulu Sierra, Oscar Victor Sierra. 3 crew on board, 4 hours endurance. We request start for a flight to Conakry as per flight plan level 180, THV 103.
103, start for taxi 21.
Startup is approved, QNH 1013, and request runway 03 for departure if available, THV 103.
You have a landing traffic at 40. In 260 degrees, 03 knot.
Clear to land, still 207.
Flaps 2. 3 check. Plus flaps 2. Check. Radio altimeter live, 1500 checked. Gear down. Flaps 3, speed checked. Flaps full, landing checklist. Cabin crew, advise. Auto thrust off. ECAM landing memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete. Roger. Five at feet ground. Checks.
$400.
9 green. Checks.
300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Landing. Check.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. Retard.
Spoilers. One reverse only, number 2. Descent. Cancel.
152, Vision Group.
Exit, get all in. Engine 1 reverse full. Stand.
Roger, clear for the approach, continuation 2200.
Je te dis,
Reclaimage 1012, report debrief.
Non, c'est là.
Atteinding
Ça, c'est
2200,
Ici, en D.
destination 1013, report debrief, Tango Alpha 152.
STL 207, may we vacate via Alpha?
FM, you can leave a runway now. On your right, your landing time 35, parking 5.
Thank you. Parking number 5, vacating first to the right, STL 207.
Tower DHC 103, Scott start, request taxi.
Okay, you can taxi, self-taxiway to hold at the holding point.
Taxi to the southern taxiway to the holding point and confirm runway 21 for departure.
7. Ça, c'est la machine qu'il faudrait voler.
Tower from DHC 103, sir, confirm we must taxi to the northern taxiway for runway 21 for departure.
Number 5.
Your taxi will be 7 taxiway, the landing traffic is about to land in 5 minutes.
Thank you, sir. So confirm we must taxi holding point runway 03 for departure.
FM.
Thank you, sir.
Clear takeoff runway 03, wind is calm.
Clear for takeoff runway 03, still 207.
Below the line. Below the line, cabin crew has been advised. Danger start selected. It's normal. Pikes went off. Before the checklist is completed. Okay, there we go. Takeoff, I have control. You have controls. Flex 48, is this? Aan het Westblom. How is it? Check. low, low, low. Dat is de lucht, hè. De lucht is veel te hoog.
For 207 airborne 24, contact approach 121.1, great to you.
111 is still 207 today.
Standaard.
Level 190.5 and Accra advise us to climb level 290.
Level 290, say your GMB range and your outbound radio.
We're on radial 089er, outbound 35 nautical miles.
He's up.
35, copy, no objection for 290, report passing up. Report passing up.
Call you passing up, Victor 856.
Standaard set. Checklist completed. Voila, we are on track. Okay. Yep, inside. 1 o'clock. Tickets.
After 207 Abidjan, report for the estimate, Gupex, Bigom and J-Blue and ETA Bruxelles.
Airtel 207, Quebec at 2245, Bigum 2306, Brooklyn at
Speed check, flaps 1. Yep.
Still 2077 miles from Tucson, contact Tower 118 small 6, tot ziens.
86 tot ziens is still 207. Tower, goedemorgen, is still 207. Established 25 left.
Still 207, good morning, clear to land runway 25 left, 190 degrees, 13 knots.
Clear to land 25 left, still 207.
Gear down, no standards. Want auto brake? No auto brakes. No auto brake. Flaps 2. Speed check, flaps 2. Speaking flaps 3. Call the cabin. And flaps 4. Flaps 4. Checklist. Landing checklist cabin crew. Has been advised. Out of thrust. Is off. ECAM landing demo. Landing problem. Landing checklist completed. You're clear to land.
Delta vehicle standby.
400,
Lag green.
300, 100 above, 200, minimum,
Landing. Check.
100, 50, 40,
Delta vehicle.
30, 20, retard, retard, retend.
Delta
Transponders.
Roger, start up approve, report ready for
One reverse. Manual braking. Ready for my reverse. 70 knots.
STL 207 vacate via Charlie 5 and taxi via Outer Sierra stand 206 left.
Charlie 5, Alpha Sierra 206 left, still 207.
Tower Kilo Julie Charlie 5546, request start up focus.
Kilo Juliet Charlie 5546, start up is approved and pushback approved.
Start up with push approved Kilo Julie Charlie 5546.
Vacated and request backtrack at the end to Delta 2.
Backtrack approved and proceed via Delta 2 for inspection runway 02 to cross 25 left approved.
Backtrack to Delta 2 and inspection 02 with crossing 25 left is approved. Section 618.
Okay, we have a flight Brussels to Dakar, going on straight line. There's nothing special with the weather. Might be very warm there.
Spain, Madrid.
Yeah. Routing as usual without the ETPs. We have full circles of 60 minutes. As usual with
Madrid, Agadir,
Agadir and Nouakchott. The weather in Dakar from this morning, we have 258 knots. Visibility is good.
some thunderstorm.
In the afternoon, but normally for you, it's okay. Your alternate is Banjul, where we have the same weather. As it's lying next to it, next to Dakar. So. 3% contingency with Agadir. From between 13 and 1600, we have 280, 12 knots, and weather is good. Okay, the short forecasts and actuals. The NOTAMs for Brussels, nothing special. 25 right in use normally. Yeah.
1600 meters.
We had some fog this morning. 800 meters we went down.
We saw the weather from Nouakchott.
Just some light tombstones. No terms of Agadir, it's nothing special. Destination Dakar. The usual stuff. There's nothing new. I've made the flight plan 3 times this week and nothing changed. Okay. Banjul there's nothing. And Nouakchott, it's not further on.
It's operational also. That's it for no times. Flight time 5 hours 24 minutes. Yeah. We haven't had 9 average.
No, it's for the ultimate. Tail 5. Check.
No. Tail 5, sorry, yeah, that's the ultimate. The zero fuel weight 159 has been confirmed. Flight is full. They have for the moment 12 wait lists waiting to see if they can go on or not. So 12. It's full.
And how much do we need? 37 tons.
Yep.
And if you want to take one shot,
38.
2 more.
Yeah. It's Banjul or nothing.
And the thunderstorms were forecast in the morning.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago I had a serious one, to back up.
We will take 2 more tons, so we cover Nouakchott as alternate on the deck. 39.
Fuel price is just on the border of getting a tank of fuel. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 39 tons.
39, yes.
Second stretch, you have to fuel.
This is still 203 at the stand, 210 left for the push.
Still 203 grounds, good afternoon, stand 210 left, pushback approved.
Push approved, still 203.
Ground, good morning again, Olympic 146, stand from 58 requesting push please.
Olympic 146, ground, good afternoon, stand 158, pushback approved.
Pushback approved, Olympic 146.
203, thank you, break.
And ground north, Soviet 2564 Bravo 7.
Soviet 2564, taxi via Ines, stand 152.
Still 203 request taxi.
Still 203, you need full runway.
Affirm.
Still 203, taxi via Romeo Echo 5, hold short runway 02, QNH 1019.
Via Romeo Echo 5 to hold short 02 1019, still 203.
Brakes. Check.
Turkish 1938 ready.
Turkish 1938, contact tower 120.77.
2077, good day.
Still 203 is ready.
Still 203, roger, wind 330 degrees 4 knots, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, forward.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, still 203, tot ziens.
Max off.
Mach 1.
And before takeoff check is below the line.
Below the line, cabin crew.
Advised.
Engine star selector.
Normal.
And the backs.
Off.
The before takeoff check is completed.
Roger.
Clear for takeoff.
Ready.
Elevation.
110 feet.
And 247 checked.
Curfew checked. Takeoff 5 controls.
You have controls. Still 203 is rolling close.
203, roger, Pratik Williams.
Checked. Power set.
Still 203, good afternoon, radar contact, climb to flight level 70.
At level 70 is still 203.
Oscar Charlie, contact Charleroi on 121 decimal 3, bye bye sir. 1213, bye bye, thank you, Lima Charlie.
Contact Bordeaux 135 decimal 9, au revoir.
359 Estelle 203, au revoir madame. Bordeaux, bonjour, Estelle 203, flight level 360, approaching level 370 to maintain and approaching PTV.
Estelle 203, bonjour, maintain flight level 370 when reaching and proceed to BBX.
We set close to BBX, Estelle 203, merci.
Well, hello, my name is Patrick van der Meulen. I am a senior purser at SN Brussels Airlines. I've been doing this job now for about 13 years. I'm 35 years old, I'm a Belgian nationality, and I adore my job, and I will try to make it a bit clear for you what the job entitles, what I do on a flight, and so on. So very welcome on this SN Brussels Airlines flight to Dakar, Senegal, and let me take you on the tour of what my job as a senior purser entitles. Here we are at the front of the Airbus 330. The cockpit is right in the front of me. This is my workstation. I always work in the front and in this side of the business class cabin. Of course, I do go all around the plane to see how my colleagues, the whole crew, is doing in the back, in the middle and in the front. I am always in contact with the cockpit crew. I go there for a check every 15 minutes to see if the guys are all right, if they need anything to drink, and if everything is really well. That's very important that we do that. Now here I'm going to show you a panel. It's actually a detailed panel where you have all the lighting of the aircraft, because for example for takeoff and landing you need to adjust the lighting. It always has to be adjusted to the intensity of light that you have outside, for security reasons, that passengers' eyes are adjusted to the light outside in case something unfortunate would happen. I have a whole panel here. For example, now it is here on the cabin temperature. I'm responsible for the temperature in the cabin. On this aircraft it varies a bit from aircraft to aircraft. It's always a lovely temperature of 23 in business class, 23 in economy, and 23 in the back economy class as well. On some aircraft you do have to adjust it a little bit. Also I make it a little bit fresher at takeoff and at landing, because then people do have the tendency of being less unwell, and because people are a bit upset, a bit afraid rather, when they take off and when they land, because they're a bit worried. Some people are a bit afraid still, so it is important to keep the temperature quite lovely for them. Also I have here, for example, the doors. If all the doors are armed, this means that at the beginning of a flight, when the doors are just closed, we need to arm the doors. That is in case of an evacuation, that when we open the doors, that the slides automatically deploy. So when they hear the announcement, cabin crew, all doors in flight condition and cross-check, all the colleagues will put their doors in flight condition. Then I have my interphone, which is really very important for me on a flight, and I call my whole crew, all call, and everybody answers at their station that the door is armed. And here I see the proof of that. You see, this is also something that the captain has, and then we are also that the doors are in on position. So we had the temperature, the doors, we have the water, how much water there is left for the whole aircraft to make coffee, tea and so on. There's also a system check that's a bit more technical. See how the toilets are, vacuums, smoke detectors, how everything is going. You see? At the beginning of a flight I do a panel light test to see if everything is operational on this thing. The Airbus 330 is a very computerized aircraft, so it's actually quite easy. Everything goes with buttons and everything, and it's very controllable. It's very simple. And then I take you to my video station, which is here. This is where I take care of all the movies and the in-flight entertainment. As we see a movie right here, there's also a description of all individual monitors that people have. These are the big screens in the cabin on which you see the safety video, and also in the business class we have individual video screens per seat, and there people can see several movies at the same time. And that's also basically what I do. It's very important to have the estimation of the duration of a movie, because otherwise when it's finished you have like a snowy image, and we can't really have that. It always has to be nicely entertaining so that people do not get bored, as it are long flights and everything, so it's pleasant for the people to have that. Also later for the children we have cartoons and all kinds of programs, which is actually quite nice. The movies are to my view, very nice. It's always late releases and everything. Sometimes it's a bit frustrating to see the movies that are playing and you kind of have the tendency of wanting to watch, but you really can't because you're so busy. So therefore we have to go to the movie theater then. And so this is what the video system is like. It's always very warm here. When you stand in front of it, it's always quite warm. At night time, sometimes when the stewardesses are cold, they come and stand here because it gives a lot of heat, all the tapes and all that. So that's that. So this is here the company magazine, the Connect magazine. It's got all kinds of publicities. It's got gastronomical articles. It's got geography articles. It's a bit sometimes like National Geographic. It's got a bit of car news, hotel news, all the things that are happening in Brussels. And it always has an article of one of the SN Brussels Airlines destinations. It's to keep the passengers busy, to inform them, and it also at the end has the whole selection of the movies and the selection of the different audio channels. So we have like a jazzy program, pop, we have typically Belgian music, classical music, classic rock, and so on. And then here we have all the movies that people can choose from. Now in the main cabin you always have one or two several movies which are quite nice. They put the best releases of course on the main screen because those are watched by the majority of passengers, and it's very important that people get a nice movie for them to be entertained, you see. And the business class movies, it's all these for the outbound, all these for the inbound, are quite nice as well. Of course the business passengers, they pay a lot more money, so they get a little bit more movies, which they appreciate really. And now by the way, I was just telling you that's very important not to get snow on the image. Here the movie is just finished. So what happens now, when the subtitles are all finished, I mean when the names are all finished, I switch to what we call air show. That is the geographical map that shows you the position of the aircraft and the route that we've been doing. And I just push on the little button here and the movie screen will change into the map screen. And I always use this as a little intermedia for when I put on a new movie or when I put on the cartoons, so that the people always get something nice on the image. And it's always quite nice to see where we are in the world and everything. It gives this little worldly flavor, you know. So that's always very nice to have that on. Okay. So I'm going to change the tape now. It's a big time for the children now because we're going to put on a cartoon, which they always like. We do have many children on board and also a lot of children that travel alone. As we have so many Africans all over in Europe and in the US also, we do have many children, especially during the summer holidays, that go back to see the family and all that. So on this flight, for example, I have 6 unaccompanied minors, as we call them, and we have a stewardess that takes care of them, which is in their section. They always sit together. It's very important never to lose these children out of sight. I always take the passports and the papers, the tickets of those children. I keep them with me in my workstation, and I always ask them to promise me never to leave the aircraft without me, because we cannot have that at all. So we have to be very, very responsible with these children, as we have so many. We really do take good care of them. We have some toys as well for them. I'll show you that later on. And so we try to keep them busy as well, that they do come back and tell mom and dad how SN Brussels Airlines works with them. Yeah. So we are now halfway the flight. We did the service in business class and in economy class. The whole crew is still taking care of passengers. We have another 2 hours of flight to go before we reach Dakar. For me now, it is time that I start my administrative duties. The whole crew is wonderful, by the way. Everybody's very good and they're doing a very good job. I think the passengers today are very happy. And I'm just going to show you a little bit what I still have to do now. As we just did the duty free, you know, the duty free sales, I have all the money of what the stewards and stewardesses sold, which are right in there. This is I'm going to put in a safe which is in the front of the aircraft, which I lock. It's an old-fashioned safe with a real code and everything, a little bit like James Bond, you know. And then I need to think of the return flight already, so I prepare the information sheets for the new crew that will take over the plane tonight for their inbound flight to Brussels. So they need the information of what happened on this flight for duty free, if there's a problem technically with the cabin, if everything is all right with the movies and everything. So I just write it down, you know, how many transit passengers we will have out of Banjul later, in economy, if we have babies, if we have people who need assistance, VIPs, although everybody is VIP at SN Brussels Airlines for us, you know, but still we need to know that. You see, for example, duty free was all normal, where the newspapers and the magazines are for the return, and if we do need to order any drinks, which is not really very often the case because we have quite a lot of drink on board. And I was just telling you about the toys that we have for the children. We have Legos, we have color books and all that. You see, so it is very important to take good care of these children because we've all been very little, and we try to make it very important for them to give it a very special memory, because these children, they will grow up and we want them to keep a very good souvenir of SN Brussels Airlines, of course. And then here, for example, to get back, I have some more paper. This is the crew list I prepared for the hotel that we stay in, with the captain's name, first officer, myself and the whole crew. This is important for the hotel to know when we are leaving, the pickup time and all that, that we are waked up nicely on time and that we do have our pickup to get us to the airport punctually. So that's all that. So I hope that you got a little bit more familiar with the job of a senior purser. I'm very happy that you were on my aircraft, or my flight rather, today. I absolutely adore my work, as most of my colleagues do. We're very happy at SN Brussels Airlines, and we were very happy to have you here on board with us today on this flight to Dakar and Banjul, and we do hope to see you soon again in person on our flights. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Nécessaire pour votre entrée au Sénégal et en Gambie. Merci beaucoup. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is now 12 minutes past 3 o'clock local time at our destination Dakar. We will be landing there in less than 1 hour. We hope that you're having a very pleasant flight in our company.
Approach speed, plus 5 Yes, the visibilities are good. Runway lights full bright.
Dakar is still 203.
203 Dakar.
Level 270, descending level 200, 90 miles from Yankee Fox, and we request to proceed direct to Rugby from present position.
It's 203, I'll call you back for direct.
Roger, for information we just passed into the Saint-Louis.
Roger. Dakar 1, niveau 90. Tenez niveau 90, vous rappelez pour la descente, c'est la 18 en service. Nous avons compris, donc 90 pour la 18. Dakar, de Charlie. Est-ce que vous avez une liaison avec notre balle? Vous pouvez répéter? C'est la 203, confirm radio Yankee Fox now.
Still 203, we are now on the radio 048 Yankee Fox at 75 miles.
Okay, Roger. Break hear me now?
We are now 28 miles from Yankee Fox.
28 miles to Dakar, Capital, continue descent 40040 for Vira Demi runway 18 via Sierra Lima Oscar 2 Bravo arrival. You call me 25 miles follow.
Roger level 40 Sierra Lima Oscar 2 Bravo arrival, and I call you reaching level 40 Western 203. Are we number 1 in the sequence?
This time, yes.
May we proceed direct to Ground B from position still 203?
203 confirm level passing.
Out of level 60 descending 40 still 203.
And DME presently?
24 miles, Yankee Fox, still 203.
203, continue descent 2,600 feet to QNH 1011 and continue to proceed direct Bombi. You call me Bombi 2,600.
Roger, down 2,600 feet 1011, we proceed direct to Bonvi. I call you approaching Bonvi, still 203.
1,300.
Your report, Bombi 2,600.
Roger, after passing Bonvi, we are clear for the approach. Viewer, DME runway 18 is still 203.
You call me Bombi SL 203 and no delay for your expected approach time.
Roger, thank you. I call you Bonvi, still 203.
Roger, you'll contact now Dakar Control on 120.5, Senegal 202.
120.5, bye-bye.
So between Bonvi 2600 speed on start and 60 we have only 3 miles. Yeah.
Roger, you'll maintain 2,600 and you call me Bombi for beginning.
Roger, maintaining 2,600 feet, I call you Bonvi, still 203.
Il faut la tourner juste avant ce truc.
Juste avant le radar, il est juste derrière.
Still 203 is now passing Bonvi 2,600.
Roger, continue descend 1,600 feet, SL 203 and report full established on final runway 18.
We descend now to 1,600 feet, 1011. I call you established final runway 18, still 203.
First start open descent.
Bonjour, Gambia 101. Senegal, correction, Gambia 101 Dakar.
Way 101.
Go ahead for your position. Level passing now, DME, radial of Yankee Fox.
Still maintaining 60 and 6 nautical miles, 160 region. And requesting visual.
Roger, Gambia 101, you are number 2, behind Narba 33, SL 203, and now beginning procedure for runway 18. You'll continue descent level 40040, report overhead Yankee Fox 40, Gambia 101.
Roger, descending 40 and number 2, so we're proceeding to Bonvi.
Still 203 is now established final.
Roger, 203, call me short final, runway 18.
Call you short final, still 203.
Your visual, affirm as we go around and still no gear. Gear down, come straight and down. Check, upstream.
Coming on short final, still 203.
203, again, you know, inside, clear to land, runway 18, let us wind 240 degrees, 11 knots.
clear to land, runway 18, still 203.
Gambia 101, level now.
4020. 405, nautical miles outbound.
Roger, Gambia 101, the number 1 is just on final. You mentioned 40 and call me Bombay.
Dakar, 40, call you Bombay.
Minimum.
Take.
$320. 300.
Dakar, 600 Charlie.
Oh, Charlie Dakar, good afternoon, go ahead.
Good afternoon, approaching 050.
DME presently?
26.
26 DME to Yankee Fox, Tango Charlie, Capit, you'll proceed to Bombay, and your expected approach time will be 1616. The number 1 is just landing, you are number 3 behind, don't forget 28.
Okay, express approach time 1616. We are setting our heading to Bombay.
Please, you report Bombay 50.
Okay, we report Bombay 50.
Still 203 on the runway 1606. You'll make 180 at the end and backtrack.
Roger, 180 at the end and backtrack is still 203.
Tango Charlie Dakar, level now?
Level 050.
Capit, Gambia 101, continue descent 2,600 feet, QNH 1011. You'll begin now your procedure and you'll call me full established on runway 18.
Roger, leaving further down 2,600, QNH 1011 at the beginning of the approach, calling back on the final 18, Gambia 101.
203 SL, you'll make 180 at the end and please expedite. You call me runway vacated.
So we expedite is still 203.
Gambia 101, you just come from your DME outbound now.
14 and turning inbound.
And 4, understood, turning inbound, Charlie.
Correct.
Number 1 is still on the runway, making 180 at the end.
Okay, it'll be okay. Charlie at 050, 18 nautical miles.
Roger, Charlie, continue holding at Bonville. I call you back for beginning your approach. You are number 2 now.
Tango Charlie.
Gambia 101 altitude now.
Maintaining 2,600 at 13 nautical miles.
And there's still 203. We expedite. We will vacate the runway in 1 minute.
Thank you for your cooperation and call me runway vacated SL203.
Welcome.
Capit, you'll call short final runway 18.
Call you.
Cell 203 vacate by the first on your left and taxi Juliet 9. Report runway vacated.
Roger, we taxi Juliet 9 and via Sierra 1, the runway is now vacated. Still 203.
Thank you for your call. Tango Charlie Dakar, you'll continue descent level 40040, report 40, Bombi inbound.
Charlie, will you report 40, Bombi inbound?
Dakar, Tango Fox. Tango Fox Dakar.
Niveau 60, en vue du terrain pour viser l'approche, c'est possible.
Tango Fox Dakar, la distance de Yankee Fox.
Oui, j'arrive 12 nautiques.
Compris 12 nautiques Tango Fox.
Charlie.
Il a 18 en service Tango Fox, vous maintenez 60 et vous procédez sur Bonvie. Vous me rappelez niveau 60, vertical Yankee Fox.
Vertical Yankee Fox. Le Charlie...
Tango Fox, après Tango Charlie, la position présentement.
Nous arrivons Bonvie. Inbound.
Bonvie, le niveau présentement.
40.
Bien reçu, break Gambia 101, I get you inside, clear to land, runway 18, let us wind 230 degrees 14 knots.
Thank you, clear to land, runway 18, Gambia 101.
Break Tango Fox Dakar, you'll continue descent 40040 for visual approach, runway 18. You call me passing overhead Yankee Fox.
Okay, I'll call you back overhead Yankee Fox for descending now for 4057.
At you, Fox Dakar, you have route 2,600 feet. 2,600 feet, report overhead Yankee Fox for visual approach.
Okay, down to 2,600 feet.
Now number 2, the number 1 is just landing on runway 18.
Possible?
Gambia 101 on the runway at 1614, you'll vacate by the first on your right and taxi Juliet 2.
Device here on 142, Gambia 101.
Fox Dakar?
6 Tango Fox, would like to proceed right base leg runway 18, please.
Visual approach is approved. You'll continue and report final runway 18.
We do that.
Number 1, Tango Fox. Initially level 70070 to Banjul destination. After airborne, 2 minutes runway headings and left turn.
Initially level 070, 2 minutes on roadway heading, then left turn. Still 203.
516, approaching Bombay 040.
Pelican 02, Pelican 02.
Bring the car.
Middle line. Middle of the line. Coming through. Engine start select. Max. Off. 40 knot checklist. Elevation 60 feet. 50 feet.
Still 203 is ready.
Still 203, line up and hold. I call you back.
Roger.
À Dakar, Tango Charlie au parking pour quitter, au revoir et merci beaucoup.
Au revoir.
I'm Burkina 516 inbound Bombay.
Roger, Burkina 516, descend 2,600 feet to Bombay. You report Bombay inbound. I call you back for beginning your approach.
Roger 2,600 feet, connect QNH, call you position Bombay. Burkina 516.
Runway 18 vacated, 1532.
532, copy taxi, Juliet 2.
Juliet 2, 1532.
SL 203, clear for takeoff, runway 18, 2 minutes runway headings and left turn. Let us wind 230 degrees, 8 knots.
Clear takeoff 18, still 203, 2 minutes and runway axis, the left turn.
Power set.
Dakar, Sivas Alpha Golf to compose.
Calling the car?
Golf to bomb. Spécialiste au décolle. Parking aéroclub de Piston avant. 3 heures d'autonomie, de moins de 36 volages, de tour de piste, s'il vous plaît.
Eagle Full November, stand-by, je vous rappelle pour les tours de piste. Port full established on runway 18.
Roger, clear full established on 18, Burkina 516.
Burkina 516, report short final, runway 18.
Recording short finals 18, Burkina 516.
Dakar, Golf Novembre pour les. Still 203, approaching level 70.
70, DME outbound now.
11 miles.
1 miles, copy it. You'll contact now Dakar Control 120.5. Bye-bye.
120.5, still 203 flying.
Car Gambie fin 1, on a passé à peine
235.
À Dakar, contactez notre château, 184 au revoir.
184, merci, au revoir.
Dakar Bonjour, still 203, maintaining level 70, bonjour.
Ciao, your DME now?
DME 15 miles.
5 miles, climb level 130, report maintaining CSMIT for Banjul.
Climb level 130, estimating Bravo Juliet 1733, landing in Banjul at 1740.
Okay, Roger.
We saw nothing special. Caution for birds. The fuel, we have 1 hour extra fuel with the car as determined. The routing will Bravo Juliet. We'll fly to Bravo Juliet when clear of the CBs. Then Bravo Juliet outbound, we take the 61 until 60 mi Bravo Juliet. The DME is not working. I put it in the progress page. Then we turn left to intercept the ILS. We may descend at the end of the procedure turn down 2,000 feet, 2005 this DMSA, 2,000 feet the interception, the outer marker at 1,700 feet. The runway 79 and the minimus 283. It's a 3 degrees glide and the missed approach, climb still ahead to 1,500 feet, then turn high to PR, climbing to 2,500 feet. Checked, and I believe it's in the box, 1,500 high turn Bravo Juliet, so it should be net. The runway is long, 3,600 meters, slight displaced threshold, auto braking low, and normally we should vacate at the central taxiway, so right, left, right. At the top of descent, 40 miles Bravo Juliet, so you may ask for the descent.
The Dakar is still 203, ready for descent.
Esther 203 Dakar, descent 60, address leaving 130.
Leaving 130 now, down level 60, still 203.
Just idle open descent.
Check. Le programme lieu aussi.
Je vais prendre la plage. On va passer ici au milieu.
Oui.
Regardez.
I request further descent and we are in contact with Banjul.
I shall continue with Banjul. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Banjul is still 203, level 80, descending level 60, released by Dakar.
203, Roger. Bravo Juliet, you are off the air. Descent altitude 2500 feet on KNH 1012. No delay expected for ILS approach, runway 32, report established on the localizer.
Call you established on the localizer, no delay for ILS runway 32, and still 203.
And the approach checklist.
Passing 6,500. Now.
Checked.
Project list briefing.
Is confirmed.
Confirmed. Pickup status.
Checked.
T-Max.
Set.
flaps 1. Speed check flaps 1. So turning 340 descent. Average arm, we can descend. Are we clear for the approach? Descending. And manual. Check. Are we clear to land? No, Jeff, you have to call the outmarker. Marker.
SL203, caution birds, cross around runway 32, surface wind 260 degrees 6 knots.
Clear to land runway 32, SL203.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Landing in 2 minutes. Flaps 3. Speed check flaps 3. Flaps 3. Flaps 4. Speed check to flaps 4. Checklist. Landing checklist cabin crew. Advised, local thrust. Off. Ecam landing memo. Landing, no. Landing checklist completed. Ground is prepared. Check. 1000 feet is passed. Jim, si je te demandais wipers. Oui, check. Fast. Wipers slow. The wipers off.
400.
100 above.
100 above.
Checked.
300. Minimum.
Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Re-10.
Wipers. Wipers, my side.
Reverse. Green. 60.
SL203, touchdown 39, vacate right, then left, report master inside for stand number 4.
Right and left for stand 4, STL 203.
Tiens, un petit truc qu'on m'a donné, j'ai vu le temps, donc je vais regarder. Ici. Dans l'after landing checklist, tu trouves tout là. Yes, parking brakes are set and we are ready to start engine number 1.
Okay, you can start engine number 1.
Starting number 1.
Starting number 1.
We turn the engine start selector to start. Then we get a display about for starting the engines. Starting engine 1. The high pressure, the valve is going open. Air under pressure is sent to the engines. The ignition is coming out at 15%. Fuel flow is brought into the engine, and then the exhaust gas temperature starts to rise. At around 50 and 55% here, the starter valve will close, and the engine continues to accelerate by its own. It's here. Now the valve is closed. And stabilized around 60%.
Starting number 2.
Same thing for the second engine. Start is fully automatic. If there's a problem, the computer will take the appropriate action by itself. Even if the engine doesn't want to start for some reason, it will do a cooling period by itself, it will restart, try a new start all by itself.
Start is complete, everything normal, you can fully disconnect and give me a sign. Thank you, good night.
I'll leave the APU on.
After start checklist.
After start checklist and the ice.
Off.
ECM status.
Yes, checked.
Pitch trim.
24.1 set.
Rudder trim.
0.
Ground equipment.
Removed.
Nose wheel steering.
On.
After start checklist complete.
Roger. And ready.
STL 204 request taxi.
STL 204 taxi backtrack line up runway 32.
QNH 1013 taxi enter backtrack and line up runway 32. Still 204.
Clear right.
Right is clear.
Clear left. Brake pressure check.
Pressure 0.
Full right. Neutral check the panels.
Right is clear.
Right full.
STL 204 request your source on board and entrance.
Souls on board 149. Endurance 1 hour and 45 minutes.
45. For your after 86 climb.
STL 204, go ahead.
STL 204 is cleared manual destination Dakar. Direct Yankee Fox to climb to and maintain flight level 120 after airborne right turn.
To Dakar, level 120 after airborne right turn, STL 204.
passer ici et on prendra comme ça. Ok, and ready.
SL 204 is ready.
SL 204, close on board. Cloud takeoff runway 32, surface wind 250 degrees, 07 knots.
Clear takeoff runway 32, SL 204.
Je mets engine start selected, ignition start. Everything is done?
Affirm. The Q3 is checked, I read 60 feet.
Checked. Take off. I have
control.
Flex 57 SLS runway on the thrust.
Power set.
Pack 1 up.
Pack 1.
Acceleration. Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1. Flaps at 1 position.
Flap 0.
Speed check. Flap 0.
Transition.
Check. Pack 2.
Checked, and after takeoff checklist.
Flaps are up. After takeoff climb checklist passing 3000. Now.
And checked.
After takeoff climb checklist landing gear
is up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
Alright.
SL 204, airborne manual time 23. Control on 120.5. Stand by for estimate.
Roger, contact 120.5, still 204.
So full speed to 80 knots.
We will report ready for descent.
Report ready for descent, Mauritanie 562.
Dakar, bonjour, still 204, level 50, climbing level 120.
Heading 060.
SL 204, clear level 120 to Dakar. Report steady 120. And may I have your estimate, Yankee Fox?
I'll stand by for the estimates. I'll call you back in 2 minutes.
It's break Tango Charlie Victor 8021, copy Dakar. Weather?
Go ahead, ma'am, 8021.
Between 240 degrees 9 knots, visibility 10 kilometers, scattered at 1,300 feet, scattering 23,000 feet, temperature 28, dew point 26, QNH 1011, runway 180 news.
Roger, Cavalry 021, runway 180 news, QNH 1011, thank you, 021.
Heading 03.
Dakar, Mauritanie 562, according the traffic, can we expect runway 036?
I call you back 562.
Thank you.
On demandera aussi.
Orlair 1571, confirm radial established now, level passing.
We are now on a radial 0, passing level 170, you're there 1571.
170 climbing and DME outbound.
DME outbound 36, you're there 1571.
Copy that, you call reaching and maintaining 330 or San Luis.
Call you back flight level 330, you're there 1571.
Oui, allez-y.
You confirm that the thunderstorm, they have a heavy thunderstorm going to the airport?
They are northwest of the airport.
There's heavy thunderstorm northwest of the airport, and there's heavy rain coming over the airport. And you'll have to fly you have to fly around it. But at the airport, it's more heavy rain, but not so much turbulence. But northwest, a lot of turbulence.
Okay, thank you very much.
Clear land runway 36 is still 20.
Flaps full.
Speed check, flaps full.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklists. Cabin crew is advised on the thrust.
Off.
Decam landing memo.
Landing no blue.
Landing checklist complete. 1000.
Checked.
Dakar, Sénégal 200.
300.
Standby.
Minimum. 200. $120.
The street.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 10.
Spoilers, green diesel.
Manual braking.
Roger.
Take the second one.
Oui.
Okay, clean up.
Dakar, Sénégal 200 pour rouler. Sénégal 300 pour rouler. Oui, maintenez position et pour votre information, à Banjul, le temps est mauvais. Ok, on a copié l'information. Maintenez position.
7, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 3, 1.
Sénégal 300, roulez point d'arrêt piste 18, rappelez approchant. Point d'arrêt piste 18, on vous rappelle approchant, Sénégal 300.
Oui.
Peut-être c'est son LED qui déconnecte. Hein. Lui est prêt déjà.
Et vous êtes toujours là?
Oui.
Oui, vous nous prévenez, on peut démarrer?
Non, stand-by, on va dégager le course.
D'accord, vous nous prévenez quand on peut démarrer.
Ok.
Bonsoir, c'est Brussels Airlines et American Airlines. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue à bord de ce vol à destination de Bruxelles. Votre commandant de bord est M. Jean-Luc Compère, dont est la
Available, stabilized, standard key.
Binnen enkele ogenblikken schakelen wij u aan voor de demonstratie van dit. Dames en heren, u onafhankelijk voor de hoge temperatuur in de cabine ogenblik inschrijven aan een klein technisch probleem dat ons nog in de tijd al die vraag gemaakt. Wij verkiezen altijd eenmaal als wij opgestiegen zijn wordt de temperatuur helemaal.
Merci, vers le niveau 60.
Bien reçu. Break Royal Maroc 501, quel est votre niveau maintenant?
On est au niveau 40 en descente, 501.
Reçu. Break Méditerranée 820, vous descendez 50, vous rappelez Upton dans l'attente.
On va essayer de...
Voilà, on vous rappellera Upton dans l'attente et on descend vers le 50 en Méditerranée.
Confirmez, vous êtes déjà à Upton?
Voilà, on a passé Upton en éloignement dans l'attente Méditerranée.
Royal Maroc 501.
Dakar Ghana 561, be ready, you're standing by ready.
561 Dakar, standby. Royal Maroc 501, say position now.
We are overhead with 3,500 feet descending, Air Maroc 501, overhead.
Roger, break Ghana 561, for ATC clear Dakar.
Still 206 is ready for takeoff.
Still 206, clear for takeoff, runway 36, wind 330 degrees, 10 knots, right channel.
Clear for takeoff, runway 36, right turn out is still 206. What about the level 370?
370 is approved to Sierra Lima Oscar Edini.
Roger, 370 approved, Saint Louis Dini is still 206.
So 6 knots.
We are 321, repatriate due to taxi.
Seven. 8.
Ready?
Ready. Elevation 70. 8 knots. Attention que si tu fais un rolling, tu vas avoir un spool-up différent de l'un et de l'autre quand tu fais ça. 7 knots. NQFU is checked. Ready.
Still 206 is rolling.
300 degrees, 10 knots.
Flex for the PCS runway on the first blue.
Checked.
QFU checked.
Thrust. Set.
Check.
V1 rotate. Positive climb.
You're up. Mark 1.
With pleasure.
Laps 1.
The speed check. Vector.
Check. Lap 0.
Speed check.
Dakar Khmer 705 start. Khmer 705 Dakar, Sada is approved, repatriate taxi.
105.
Flap 0, transition. What would we have to be 2,800 now?
Right.
After takeoff checklist, landing gear.
Sécurité, parking la roue.
Flaps.
Thanks. Il faudra aller voir à côté d'Air France ce qui est en bas, parce que
After takeoff
le
checklist
Boeing 738 va se positionner en Juliette 9. There's 206 airborne at 2230, report passing 40.
So we are now passing level 40, still 206, Saint-Louis 2245, Brussels at 0350.
Contact at control 1205, désolé.
1205 is still 206, over. Dakar, good evening, this is Bonsoir, is still 206. Level 40, climbing level 370, Saint-Louis 2245, Whitney 2300, Alfa Romeo 2326, Zouerat 2344, Bimoc 0004 and Eshet 0023. Arrival Brussels 0350.
Level 370 to Brussels by Sierra Lima Oscar Idini. Report reaching and maintaining level 370.
Climbing level 370, Sierra Lima Oscar Idini, and diagonally reaching is still 206.
There you go, sir. This is your starter, cheese and dessert, and in between you have a warm meal, sir.
Okay.
3 choices that I will show you. Would you care for some bread rolls? Take as many as you like, sir. I come back anyway with them. What would you like to drink, sir? Apple juice, sir. No wine, champagne, beer. I have white wine, red wine, champagne.
Maybe the white wine.
White wine. Would you care for French or Spanish? French, yes, sir. Did you have a good stay, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
To Italy, so got a bit of a journey ahead of me.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Where in Italy are you going to?
Brindisi.
Brindisi.
Not very nice.
Oh, you're going to be very warm there as well, huh?
Yeah, that's the only good
Oh,
thing.
la la.
I was in UK about 3 weeks ago. It was very nice.
Yeah.
So it's not changed.
I thought it was going to be finished this week Tuesday, but now they said it's going to go on until the 20th, yes?
You guys.
Yes. And no, not at all, sir. No. I wish you a very nice dinner, sir. Thank you.
Level 300. Malaysian 3020, sorry, copy. Continuation flight level 280. Northern 30. Air France 171, reportez le cap et la vitesse à Paris, 128 limité, au revoir. 128 limité, Air France 171, au revoir.
Vite.
Si le Nairobi est prévu à quelle heure?
C'est 310 pour Air France 257.
Il était au courant depuis hier.
Reçu madame, poursuivez la descente niveau 270.
Poursuivez le 270 Air France 257.
Malaysian 20, descent flight level 270, and code Paris 1281, bye bye.
Bonjour, Estel 206, level 320, descending 270.
Estel 206, bonjour, descent level
currently to LS approach 25 right.
Left landing 280, cleared ILS 25 right, still 206.
Hydraulic. To take a right.
Approach now.
Approach. Altitude stop. So India Bravo Romeo is checked. Should be shortly alive, the look. Alive.
Check. Star.
Checked.
Fully established 25 right, still 206.
Contact tower on 118.6 in journey.
186, I want to. Tower, good morning, still 206, fully established 25 right.
Flaps 2.
Speed is checked.
Estate 206, bonjour monsieur, Surf, swing calm, runway 25 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 25 right, state 206. For information, may we expect taxi via Juliet afterwards?
It's up to you for the time being. You are alone to move around the airport.
But no limitation for the wingspan.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
And we big go around.
I confirm you are clear to land.
Clear to land 25 right, still 206.
Approach right side.
It's 3,000 feet for the go around. Is set. Down 3 gates. Speed check. Flaps 3. So Bravo 7 is the second high speed to the left.
Land green.
100 above, checked.
100 above.
Minimum.
Minimum.
Check.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10.
Spoilers. Reverse green. Dogman Bravo 7, c'est pas le prendre.
Ça va les 20 secondes taxi qui marche.
And 30 knots.
Accelerate to the left via Bravo 8 and holding your turn at your own discretion to stand 205 left. Can use Juliet or inner hand limits up to you.
Roger, left Bravo 8, discretion to stand 205 left, state 208. 206.
Allez, c'est presque fini.
C'est ce qu'elle a dit.
So, tu veux...
Salut Jean-Luc, tu vas bien?
Oui, c'est qui?
C'est Xavier.
Ah, salut Xavier, bon vol.
Tu termines, moi je commence.
C'est plus court, hein. Tu passes Juliette, tu fais le finger, sinon tu dois aller jusqu'au tout au haut. Donc il faut décliner. So the after landing checklist. Flaps. Retracted. Spoilers.
Disarmed.
Goedemorgen, Thomas Cook 746, stand 145 right, requesting pushback. Traffic 746, goodbye, pushback approved. Thomas Cook 746, pushback is approved.